Today, I want to bring awareness to the bully you don't hear about. They are the most dangerous type of bully because they attack when no one's watching. This is not the bully that takes your lunch money, the bully that shoves you into a locker, or the bully that sends you hurtful texts. I'd like to share a story with you to illustrate who this bully is. A story entitled, "My Big Bad Bully." "Pigtails are for babies," she snarled at me. Her words hurt more than the time I broke my arm. I quickly untied my hair. I wore my hair down for the rest of the school year. That was the first time I met my big bad bully. I was in the 2nd grade. I'm not sure where she came from. I had never noticed her at school before, but she noticed me every day that year. And in grade 3, grade 4, grade 5. She called me names like fatty, piglet, ugly. Things are worse now that I'm in high school. Even when I don't see her, I can always hear the whispers, the giggles and the growls. "Who dressed you today? Your baby sister? Hey, fuzzball, ever hear of a comb?" Now she makes fun of my face. "How did you possibly fit another zit on that face of yours?" Many nights I cry myself to sleep. How can someone be so cruel? Doesn't she know that words hurt? I don't know what to do anymore. I have to put a stop to this, but I'm weak when she's around. Tomorrow is my day, I tell myself. But will I be strong enough to face my big bad bully? Or will I run away like a scared little chicken? I woke up ready. I headed to school. I knew I would find her in the girls' washroom like I usually did. I was going to put an end to this once and for all. I quietly opened the washroom door and took one slow step inside. "I am brave," I told myself. "I can do this," I whispered. I opened my eyes, and there she stood, right in front of me. A lump formed in my throat when our eyes met. I was about to say something, but I stopped myself. Instead, I looked deep into her eyes, and that's when I saw her, really saw her for the first time. I saw myself in the mirror. I saw the little girl who thought her pigtails were babyish. I saw the girl who thought she looked fat and ugly every time she saw her own reflection. I saw the scared little girl who believed her discount clothes weren't good enough. And I saw the young lady who hated her blemished skin. I saw that my big bad bully was me. It was me all along. It was me all those years. We all know that the words others say to us can impact us. But what about the words we tell ourselves? What about that inner voice we always have playing in our heads? What we say to ourselves impacts us even more than what others say to us. We all want to stop bullying. We cringe at the words baby, fatty, piglet, ugly. But what about the words, "You're not good enough," "Nobody loves you," or "loser"? These are all unacceptable things to say to others. But why? Why is it okay for us to say them to ourselves? Why is that acceptable? It seems to me that the kindest words should be whispered to ourselves. You are beautiful. You are smart. You are loved. What if we looked in the mirror and started to appreciate ourselves? What if instead of pointing out our flaws, we looked for the greatness in us? What if we were kind to ourselves? How powerful would that be? What do you say when you look in the mirror? I was inspired to write the story one evening when I heard my own daughter looking at herself in the mirror and talking. Well, she wasn't so much talking, but complaining. "Mommy, why does my hair have to be so frizzy? Why are my legs so short? It's not fair. Why do I have so many pimples?" It didn't matter what I was saying to her. She was not listening. All the nice things I was pointing out about her were completely ignored. It wasn't until I went up to her, grabbed her by the shoulders, looked into her eyes, and said, "You are bullying yourself," that she stopped. But she didn't just stop. I saw clarity in her eyes that told me she understood. You see, my daughter's a good girl. She listens to everything that has been told to her at school. She has listened to many anti-bully talks, and the last thing she wants to do is be the bully. The thought that she was bullying herself was enough to get her to stop. That was one of those rare moments for me when I felt the hair on my arm stand up, because I knew I was onto something. I'm a mother, and I take this job very seriously. God entrusted me with 4 little lives so that I can help them become adults who better our world. My job is to guide and teach them. My job is to support them and protect them. To protect them from the world and protect them from themselves. For a lot of us, we are our biggest bullies. The words and thoughts we think about impact us dramatically. Our thoughts can either enrich us or do us harm. Our thoughts can bring us happiness or cause us a lot of pain. For me, I never want to be sat down and told that we have lost a loved one to suicide. I never want to feel that feeling of hopelessness and fear. I never want to feel like someone just punched me in the gut to the point of not being able to breathe. The weakness, the dizziness, the chest pain, the urge to scream, and the thought of how can this be possible? I never want to experience that pain ever again. Almost 5 years ago, I was in the hospital waiting to go home with my new baby boy. It was also my birthday. My other children were waiting for us at home with gifts for their little brother and gifts for me. That morning, my husband came to pick us up from the hospital, and he sat me down. He told me that my 17-year-old niece had committed suicide. Needless to say, this was a difficult time for my family and for me. What was supposed to be one of the best days of my life turned out to be the worst day of my life. Between the baby blues and the pain of our loss, I was a big mess. From the hospital, we went straight to see my sister-in-law and my brother-in-law. Here I was with my brand new baby in hand. Could anything be more awkward? The guilt I felt was overwhelming. I was trying to hide my baby so I wouldn't remind them that they had just lost their only child. In the days that followed, we learned that my niece had been suffering from a mental illness. My sister-in-law said something to me that I remember to this day, something that fuels me and that has given me purpose. She told me I needed to look for signs of depression in my own children because depression is hereditary. That statement changed the trajectory of my life. I couldn't just wait around for these signs to appear. I could not go through this again. I would do everything in my power to help my children have positive mental health. It was this desire that inspired me to become an author and increase self-esteem in children. It was this desire that took me out of my little shy box to organize the Guinness World Record that empowered over 100,000 people to believe in themselves. And it is this desire that brings me here today. Mental illnesses are robbing us of the people we love and care about. Suicide is one of the leading causes of death in our country. According to the Canadian Mental Health Association, suicide is among the leading cause of death in 15 to 24-year-old Canadians, second only to accidents. The World Health Organization estimates that every year, approximately 1 million people die from suicide. That means that there's one death by suicide every 40 seconds. To put this into perspective, since I started speaking on this stage, 17 people have died by suicide. I want to help change those statistics. Mental illnesses stem from our thoughts. I found an article by Dr. Caroline Leaf entitled, "You Are What You Think." She shares that 75 to 98% of mental and physical illnesses come from our thought life. She goes on to share that only 2 to 25% of mental and physical illnesses come from the environment and from our genes. To me, this is great news. It's cause for celebration because it means that we have more control than we thought possible around our illnesses. Whether or not you fall under that small category of illnesses that could be hereditary, the reality is this: 100% of us, all of us, can experience better mental health when we learn to control our thoughts. The National Science Foundation did research on the human mind. They found that every person has anywhere between 12,000 to 60,000 thoughts per day. And 80% of our thoughts are negative ones. We are addicted to negative thinking. This includes the thoughts we're thinking, it includes our negative self-talk, and it also includes replaying negative memories in our minds. We can't control what happens to us in life, but we can control how we react to what happens, our thoughts around what happens. It's how we react to an event that determines our future. Now here's the good news. You control your thoughts. No one else can do that for you. This is a choice, a decision that each one of us gets to make. I think we have to guard our thoughts because they're one of our most prized possessions. I also think that we need to break free from our old patterns of negative thinking. But how do we do that? The bully I referred to in my story can go away by showering it with affirming thoughts and praises. After my daughter understood that she was bullying herself that night, I asked her to practice an exercise that was taught to me by my mentor and the co-author of The Big Bad Bully, Jack Canfield. I asked her that night, after she brushed her teeth, to stop and look at herself in the mirror. This time, I told her to appreciate herself for all that she had accomplished that day, to talk about any successes she had, to talk about any risks she took that day and any discipline she kept. I then asked her to look deep into her own eyes and to say, "I love you." And finally, I said, just take a deep breath and take it all in. I did warn her that at first this would be uncomfortable to do. But the more she would learn to appreciate herself, the more she would love herself, that bully would have no choice but to go away. My challenge to you today is to do the same. Practice this mirror exercise every night for 40 nights, and you'll start seeing yourself go from bullying to loving yourself more. But let's take it one step further. Let's bombard our minds with positivity because we know that it works. I'm going to suggest that you watch uplifting TV shows and movies, listen to good music, read positive books, surround yourselves with positive friends, and also make sure to take yourself out of negative environments. Now, if this is difficult for you to do for one reason or another, then make sure you are the one giving yourself the compliments, the praises, and the love. You can be your own biggest bully or your own best friend. Which will you choose? I'll leave you with this quote by Louise Hay. You have been criticizing yourself for years, and it hasn't worked. Try approving of yourself and see what happens. Thank you.